Previously on Story Hoard.
Alright, Momori pulls out her longsword, and she's gonna stick this directly at the base of this golem's C7 or whatever vertebrae.
Finally, kid! Jeez, you finally decided to wake up on me, huh?
Oh! You finally decided to show up on us!
Maybe they just think that we're mindless constructs too.
He goes to point his knife at this thing. A frigid beam of blue-white light is going to streak from the knife to the Mateo construct. What the fuck?
You hear a similar comment echoing from your teachers. The clay golem reels back, and as it goes to bring its arms directly down on top of you, it lands on either side of you, Sildra, and shatters the remains of this barrier. They've done more than enough to prove themselves to both of you. Let them in. They deserve that much. The remains of the clay golem are pooling at the back of this foyer space. The remnants of the dust constructs are scattered about the floor, leaving the space a full mess from when you first walked in. Various artifacts and tapestries have been shaken off the walls. Momori, your two hand axes are lying on the staircase heading upstairs, leaving a pretty noticeable chip in one of the steps from where they were thrown. The remnants of the glass staff that Mateo threw on the ground are littered across the floor. Your teacher's foyer is messed up something fierce. But with the ethereal barrier removed, you now once again have free reign of the space. The pass before you have space upstairs to explore, or perhaps more interesting is down the hall behind that second floor staircase, from where you can hear an explosive sounding argument underway.
Momori heads towards that noise.
Yes, he'll too.
Mateo doesn't follow.
Huh.
Interesting.
Breaking up the party.
May I ask where Mateo is going?
Mateo is just very shaken right now. He is holding himself. He was the second that everything had stopped and the barrier came down, he was just because we were all huddled together almost in the same area, and once that all went down, he has been inching away to get some distance between everyone. And I'm just gonna do a roll right now.
Okay.
Okay, so failed that.
Uh-huh.
Cool, very cool. So I'm just gonna do another roll now.
Hey, Margaret.
Oh, great. Oh, that's the best. Okay, so I'm gonna take So okay, here's what happens.
What are you
You guys have
for?
you guys have started to leave, I assume. You have your own grievances here. Mateo's is with himself. He has holding himself close. His hands are at his sides because he does not want to hurt anyone else. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. And he accidentally casts frostbite on himself. So this frostbite starts growing on his rib cage and growing outwards. And he takes 7 damage. So he is down. He has fallen.
Oh no!
Yeah. And it's 7 because this is so funny. I rolled a d6. He got a 5, and then because he's wearing the tundra mail, it adds a +2 to frost damage.
Excellent!
You're kidding me.
Are we in range of hearing this when he
Well, I
goes
assume
down?
he was and then he fell to the ground. So he
Momori
might have
turns
heard
around
that.
and races over. checks for pulse. Dear God.
You're down.
Instant
Are you like
panicking.
you're like essentially like unconscious? Like
Yeah, I have to roll death saves.
Yeah,
Margaret, are you kidding me?
yeah.
Memorial
That's what unconscious is.
screams for
Um,
the teachers.
No, Sildra's coming over. Sildra's coming over.
Yep.
Let's see. Do they have any
If
spell
only we had
slots
a
left?
healer in our midst.
Oh yeah, we have Spare the Dying. Perfect.
Yeah, that's a cantrip, right?
That's a cantrip.
See, I was
Um,
calculated. We have this. Thank you, Sildra, for remembering you have that.
Fix this, please.
they will spare you from dying.
Margaret, we don't play for a month and a half, and this is your first move.
Yes.
First move, taking yourself out.
So what does Spare the Dying do? It's just like I don't have to roll any death saves now.
You are stable. You don't have to roll any death saves.
Cool.
Great.
You will
So
not die.
Mateo's still like dead on the ground though, like still passed out.
There's a young man on the floor and he's covered in frost.
Memori screams.
Okay, real quick question. I can't remember. Did we level up at the end of last session?
We did, and it lowered my constitution, which lowered my health.
I'm going to kill
Cool.
you. Margaret. What, you guys are at what, level 4 now? I think.
Something like that. I was
Yeah.
just checking my spell slots, and I was like, oh, I have more than I remember. So I was just checking to see if that was an accident or if we leveled up. I'll go ahead and cure wounds as well.
You're so generous.
How much does Mateo heal for?
Finding that out right now. Where is the dice? And I'm healing it at 2nd level since I have slots open, and I don't think we're gonna kill anyone. Right now.
I mean, Memori is at this point.
I mean, we will, but I have extra slots. Okay, so that's
Everyone but you two right now is in danger. I'm pissed. Someone is dying in Memori's arms right now.
Oh, he's fine.
He's clearly not fine. Memori like pats Mateo's face. He's not waking up. Sildra.
Sildra. Yeah, they're not strong enough to do any damage. Sildra will slap the cure wounds onto him for 12 healing.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wake up.
Mateo still passed out at this point?
No.
Slapped, healed, slapped awake. I guess.
It does wake me up.
Oh my god.
I mean, you're stable. You have your health points again. So
Memori is like all over Mateo right now. Like checking arms, checking head, like checking hands. Like
should I do an unarmed strike for damage to negate some of the cure wounds, or is it just?
I mean, if
is
you
it
want
okay?
to.
what?
Please
No,
fine.
don't
I'm asking Grace.
strike Mateo.
I like
They
being
already did.
the idea of being slapped awake. And 12 hit points, you're fine. You can do whatever you want now.
Oh
Yeah,
my god, no.
They have -1 strength. They're not going to do anything to knock them back out again.
You don't need to roll to like add hurt to your healing spell.
Hurt.
That's fine.
You got to hurt to
You
heal.
don't just want to.
Oh my god. No.
It would be
oh my-
funny.
We just haven't rolled dice in so long that we're just excited to do
You
whatever.
want to roll all the dice. Like, oh, I haven't used my D4 yet. It's been 5
Fine,
minutes.
If you want to roll an unarmed strike to just shave a little bit of that
Do
healing
it.
off of Mateo,
Maybe
like in
you'll
your-
miss. Or wait, I'm prone, because would that... Yeah.
What would rolling
that
a
gives me
1 in this
advantage.
scenario do?
that
Like-
Sildra breaks their hand on Mateo's face.
Sildra also gets frostbite.
That's 2 damage. So
Yay.
You're
Oh, he-
healed for 10,
yeah.
and now your face hurts.
Mateo wakes up and is like in Mamori's arms. Just got slapped. Whoa,
Mateo!
whoa. What?
What are you okay?
I'm pretty cold, but other than that, I'm fine, I guess.
Puts hands on cheeks. Can how many fingers am I holding up?
You're 10? You're holding my face.
All right, I think he's okay. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. God, I am gonna kill Zafarius.
What is happening? How did I end up on the floor?
I don't know. We were just walking away, and then we heard it back, and then you were falling on the floor. And good, you're really cold.
Mateo looks down and sees like this frost on his coat and is like, oh shit, and starts like rubbing it off.
Anyways, all right. Where? No teachers have come to like see what's going on. They're all too absorbed in their own shenanigans.
Absolutely. This whole time you guys are freaking out over Mateo. The sound of this very loud, like, argument has just been going on in the background. It's slightly too far away for you to make out any voices, but it's coming from down the hall on this first floor past the staircase up to the second level.
As soon as Mateo is like awake and able to speak and is like, yeah, I'm okay, I think. Sildra immediately just U-turns and dashes over to where the voices are. It's like, you're good? Cool. We'll speak later.
But Maury's like hands still like floofing Mateo's hair, making sure the frost is like gone. Then she gets up and follows Sildra, but like not before making sure Mateo can like get up, I guess.
Mateo gets up.
Okay. All right, but Maury, like, all right, you good? You feeling okay? You're not gonna pass out on us again?
I'm fine. Thank you, Mamori, I'm fine.
I'm not letting you out of my sight anymore. This feels like a problem. Come on. I have a couple teachers to beat up. 3 of them, to be exact. All right, Mamori turns and walks after them, while keeping an eye on Mateo.
Mateo follows behind, but you might notice that usually he's holding aggressive eye contact and he is not now.
I figured. Yeah.
Yeah. The 3 of you make your way down this long hall, and unlike the last couple of times you've been in their homes with all these different branching paths that seem to go on forever throughout this mountain, the route is very clear. The sounds of this argument are echoing down this long hall, and you're able to navigate easily towards what opens up into a very large living room space, as you see quite the scene in front of you. You see Zafarius physically holding Athatria back from a furious Ithaco. You see the walls papered over every surface, these high vaulted ceilinged walls lined with paper and scrolls and red string connecting various texts and lines and images. You see Abys's relics suspended in the air in these glass cases, off and away from everything else. It looks like a tornado has torn through here as your 3 teachers are screaming at each other.
What is on the floor?
Everything. There are rolls of old scrolls, there's loose sheets of parchment, there are throw pillows and blankets, there are piled up dirty dishes, this place looks like they've been camped out in here probably for this entire week, based on the looks of things.
Gross.
Yeah. Sildra makes a fireball in their hand and just glares down the teachers, who probably have not noticed them yet.
Mamori walks in. Hey, bitches, we're back! Sorry to my neighbors. Apologies.
Please never apologize. Never apologize. Oh my god. 3 sets of eyes whip around to face the 3 of you. Wide, red, wet with tears, and at a loss for words at seeing the 3 of you here, seeing the 3 of them in this state.
Does someone want to tell me what the fuck is going on?
Silder dear. Ithko starts. She straightens out her skirts and tries to get her hair in order. She sidesteps Zephyrius's fairly short arm range as she separates herself and makes her way towards the 3 of you.
Sildra holds up like a stop hand signal. Don't come any closer. You, all of you, need to do some explaining right now.
Yes. Yes, of course. And we will be telling them everything. Isn't that right, you two? We've done so much on our own. Please, we have to bring someone in on this. If anything we've seen from this last week, you have to know we're not enough at this point. You can see Athatria take a deep breath and look around the room before turning to pat Zephyrius's arms down, kind of taking a step back before she collects herself and looks the 3 of you up and down. It was an impressive display. I must say, I rather did underestimate the 3 of you and your abilities, and for that I apologize and give credit where credit is due. You are certainly more capable of taking care of yourselves in the face of overwhelming danger than I presumed you would be, and for that, I say, good to know. She kind of throws her hands up. Ithaca is giving her a very intense look as Zephyrius kind of walks towards the 2 of them and turns to you guys. Says, well, deal's a deal. Took down our constructs with some help. Gestures to Ithaca. It's not going to be 1-to-1 by any means, but like we said, we can't run the risk of any needless losses when dealing with this. And he takes a deep breath and gestures. You all essentially to come deeper into the room as he starts kicking around some throw pillows, some blankets, and essentially sets up a group nest for you all to get settled in.
Alright, Mamori walks up to Zephyrius and punches him in the face.
Beat me to it.
He takes it.
You left me. And you didn't even say goodbye. I don't care if the world is ending or not. I thought that I was worth more than that to you.
You are worth so much more to me than that. It's why I didn't want to bring you in on this in the first place.
You think What? You think this is doing us a favor? You think that keeping us in the dark is going to help us? Do you have any idea what the hell we've been through since you guys vanished without any warning? You haven't even been paying attention, and you call yourselves our teachers. Yet the first sign of danger, you lock yourselves away and don't let us know a single thing. We found your wardrobe, by the way. Would have been nice to know a little bit more before that happened. Hey, Ethico, I have been having prophetic dreams for days now, and you left. You left right before I was about to tell you about it. I don't know what's going on with Mateo, but apparently they can shoot stuff now. You three are unbelievable. You are absolutely, horrendously unbelievable. You don't deserve to call yourselves our teachers. And if you try locking us out again, I swear I will light this entire room on fire.
Mori, wipes a sniffle on her arm and then, just points at Sildra.
The three of them are taking in what you both have said just now. Ithaco looks mortified at what you've been telling them, Sildra. At the mention of the cabinet, Ethatria's eyes go wide and her breathing gets shallow. The three of them are speechless for probably longer than you would want them to be before Ethatria takes a deep breath and approaches from her place hanging at the back of the kind of triad that they have going on. She levels you all with a look. She gives a nod and she says, "You are correct. We have failed you this last week. And yes, maybe you did deserve more than what we gave you, circumstances considering. To drop a bombshell like we did and then spirit ourselves away to figure things out is unfair to you. That is the understatement of the moment, but it's all we know how to do. It's all we've done for a very long time now." She crosses her hands behind her back and starts walking around the perimeter of the room, going over the plastered notes and red string, the suspended relics, and every other bit and piece of evidence, information they seem to have assembled here. She turns her eyes over things slowly and carefully as she continues. For a long time now, we've only had each other to depend on. It's not for lack of trying, not for looking down on the connections we make with others. It is simply that after you spend as much time together as we have, it is difficult to trust deeply outside that circle. And particularly in the matter we're facing, it is only logical to think that there's no possible way anyone but ourselves could comprehend what we're up against, because, quite frankly, there is no one left from what transpired to understand. But that is doing you three a grave disservice. We have failed to acknowledge just exactly how much we do need you. And she's now circled back to her place with Ithaco and Zephyrius, who are both looking at her like she's grown a second head. She does not make eye contact with them as she looks at the three of you. We are not in a good place right now, and this situation is scary, and it is shameful for us to be in it. But we need help.
Can I do a perception check for like this, these clues on the wall?
Yes.
Okay.
May I also perceive?
Yes.
While this
I would
monologue was happening.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
would also like to use my eyeballs.
Yes! Okay, what am I doing? Is this, perception? So that's a dirty 20.
Oh!
Nice.
I'm so glad you rolled so good. I've been waiting so long to dump. I'm so excited.
To dump. Great. We can take a break.
No! Now!
Bringing that humor into this podcast.
Rude.
How dare you, Margaret?
I can't wait to dump. Grace.
Grace has been holding it for so long.
Grace is like, finally, I can unleash it.
I'm going to destroy you.
So what did I see?
Sweet relief in sight.
Oh my god. Matteo, as Athatria is pacing this room, you have the chance to take in the various scrolls and papers plastered to every flat surface on every wall you can see. And the running theme seems to revolve around the description of some sort of seal that seems to have been, in some cases, containing a single individual, and in other places, a seal large enough to contain an entire city. You can see red threads connecting names of different locations, all tying back to this one drawing of what looks like a massive palace with this force field circling it. You see descriptions of keys and locks. You can see maps of the Great Range, and one map in particular that seems very, very old and very faded, but recognizable of the region. The main difference being the location to the south of Hearth, in the middle of the continent. What is today known as the Southern Waste is not there. It is replaced instead by an image of a glistening emerald city with very careful writing underneath it, labeling it as the capital. And you can see borders running through and around parts of the region that seem to delineate a much, much larger kingdom from back then than there has been in centuries in this region, to your knowledge, Matteo. All these details are a lot to take in the amount of time that Athatria is walking and wandering. But on a 20, you get a solid picture of what was meant to be a seal around an individual, potentially to prolong one's life, that somehow evolved into a seal around the capital city.
So, is it the capital is in the wardrobe? Is that what we're dealing with here?
Athatria's eyes snap to you, Matteo, and she gives a quick look around her room and back to you and gives a nod of acknowledgement at your quick study. she says. Not quite. The capital city is far too large to be contained within a wardrobe. No. That...
And surely no magic exists that could possibly make that happen.
No, the capital city is not inside that wardrobe. What you three uncovered was one of the last remaining formal altars to the Evergreen monarch. Took me quite a while to hunt that one down, to get rid of them all and to hold on one because I simply have difficulty getting rid of things.
This is Maddie talking.
Yeah.
So, because Thatcher is a hoarder, you allowed the space or the means for Mamori and Sildra to unleash the apocalypse.
You guys
our
just had...
grandmother could not get rid of that whole box of things that she really
You
liked.
had to
She
snoop.
really didn't, just needed to.
You had to snoop.
They left us. What were we supposed to do? Just sit down and do our chores quietly? This is a D&D campaign. There has to be a different solution.
We're all gremlins here. We're not going to just be polite.
We're
gonna crawl-
lay down and die.
We're going to crawl up the third-story window like a lizard and unlock it from the inside out and uncover their hoarding tendencies. And also our projects.
Oh yes, all the art projects.
Oh my goodness.
Lady Athatria, do you know what I think is a great place to keep the bad parts of history? A book.
You know, it would be probably in most cases a good thing to record these sorts of things. Mindful to avoid repeating mistakes of the past and give people of the future something to look back upon as a warning or cautionary tale. What happened with the monarch and the sealing plan could not be repeated. It could not be left open for other people to possibly know about or think to attempt. It is why we sealed that monarch and that capital away from the rest of the world. And left the rest of the kingdom to rot away in history. Preservation is all well and good when it's worth holding on to. There are some things that were not. That cabinet was held on to for sentimental purposes, perhaps, but also as a bellwether. If you manage to uncover it, you more than likely manage to get a sense for how powerful that altar is.
So if the capital city wasn't in that wardrobe, theoretically, what was or is?
Ithaco pipes up. A direct connection to the Evergreen monarch as it still exists within that sealed city. Like altars to gods, the altar to the monarch offers them a through line to a given place. Point of insight. It's one of the things that made them so powerful. The monarch was not a god. They were very, very, very much human. Each one after another, for generations. But rather than simply existing as most monarchies you may understand, a process was put in place to ensure that this kingdom would not require any sort of godly patron, that the monarch would be enough forever and at all times. The monarch would not die. Rather, each heir would ascend seamlessly to the throne, unbeknownst to the people when or how, and the monarch would rule continuously, one successor after another. It's royal secret as to exactly how many we went through before we got to the one we are dealing with now. Because that monarch did not want to pass up their accumulated power. So, the sealing plan was put in place, ordered by them, to seal them in time, never ascending to godhood, but absorbing the worship and praise of their people, ad infinitum, accumulating power, living forever, ruling over the kingdom in a stasis. One thing led to another. Our roles in this process were revealed to us after a certain amount of time had already passed, and we recognized the true danger that this plan posed. Zephyrius walks over to one of the walls and tears a piece of paper off the wall. He takes it over to the group of you and hands it over to you, Momori. It is a rough illustration of what you can now recognize as Zephyrius's draftsmanship of the monarch being worshipped by ethereal hands and clearly growing more powerful for it. They weren't going to stop with worship from the kingdom. Once they had amassed enough power, they would break free of their bindings and move on to consume gods. All gods of this region, and then ideally on to the next and the next and the next, accumulating power and draining the world of gods and magic till who knows. Not one of our finest contributions, I will admit. So, that's the longer version of what we told you the other day. And then we stuck ourselves in a hole for a week. As you can see, we're doing great. He kind of kicks a dirty plate out of the way.
You couldn't have at least made it to, like, the wastebasket with that thing? Or, like, you couldn't have at least, like, piled them together so that it would be easy, like, once you came out to, like, you know, bring them over to the sink? Come on, Zeph. We talk about this, like, every week.
He gives kind of a hollow-sounding chuckle. He's like, yeah, well, you know, dishes don't seem all that important when you realize the timeline we're working with here before total breakthrough.
All right, well, they better... You better put that on your list of important things, because I, for one, am not going down to some stupid idiot human who thinks that they can just beat the system, all right? We had people back where I'm from who became gods, all right? This is the same deal. Idiots who think that they're better than everybody else. And you know what? They're not. And we're gonna show them that they're not, because we're gonna stop. So everybody, pick yourselves off the floor and stop moping around, because we've got a job to do. And for God's sakes, just consolidate your dishes. It's the same amount of effort than you, like, just throwing them onto the floor in some state of panic, alright? Y'all did this before, and we're successful. And now you've got us, which I know that you're sitting here wondering about whether or not to involve us. Congratulations, you already did. And, you know what? We're super useful. We truly are. And, even if we're not, you're not alone anymore. So, get that through your thick skulls and never, ever, ever do that to us again.
Zephyrius has been nodding his head through this additional scolding, and when he looks back at you, Memora, you can see fresh tears in his eyes.
No, not tears!
Tries to nonchalantly rub at his eyes. He's like, well, the waste bin's full of useless papers and drafts of ideas, so Or was really the best place for all that.
It is not. And why would you have such a small waste bin for such a large room? You guys have been living for centuries.
We weren't expecting to be here as long as we were. And at that, Athatria rubs her eyes tiredly. She says, "You're right in that we did do this once before. That first plan took about 15 years to execute successfully. And even then, you can see it was not a permanent solution. We have 3 months before the monarch accumulates enough power from within the seal to break out into this world. And when they do, it will be the end of things. We have 3 months to figure out how to stop them. And this is what we've come up with in a week. It's been putting together notes from the last 1,000 or so years of how we got into this mess into the first place and how we can potentially find a way out. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. And we said we were ready to talk to the three of you. And she takes a sit down on one of the cushions and kind of puts her head in one hand. I will be fully honest. I thought today would be the day that we told you to get out of here. To run. To take your loved ones and anything else you care about and find another continent to wait out the end of the world. Because I don't have an answer for what we have to do. The monarch is sealed away, but mortal. So mortal, and yet so much more powerful than any average human could ever dream to be. We're talking thousands of years of accumulated magic, packed into a single mortal individual. It is truly all the strength of the most powerful god that has existed, combined with the fact that, as a human, they can't just be choked out of their magical supply. And I don't know how to fight that. And now she's kind of throwing her pages on the floor as Ithaca goes to pat her back as she just kind of sighs very frustratedly into her hands. This might be where they come into play. They're young. They don't know as much as we do. We know too much at this point. I mean, trying to find something that can hurt a celestial being as well as a human body, it's a rarity, for sure.
Let me get this straight. All I hear you keep saying is mortal, 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 human body. It sounds like you're describing to me a god which is punchable. And I quite like this idea. I quite like the idea of having some sort of magical entity I can punch just directly into the face. I mean, sure, they've been accumulating magic for thousands of years, but if they're mortal, they can still die.
The question is how.
Omori raises her eyebrows at Ethetria. I don't know. Just the normal way normal peoples die. You gotta punch them hard enough, kick them where it hurts, and throw them off a cliff, and then light them on fire. I don't,
Sildra looks down at their noodle arms.
All right, stop looking.
Ethatria's looking kind of horrified at you, Mamori, and then up at Safari. She's like, "Did you teach her that?" He's like, "I don't know." He kind of gives a chuckle. He's like, "What can I say? She's creative, and she's right. The monarch is mortal. They can die. It won't be easy taking them out, but figure if we can find something that can hurt both the human body and disrupt their magical capabilities, that's a starting point, right?"
Mamori leans over towards Mateo. Would this be a good time to, mention that we know somebody who can make magic bombs?
Been thinking that.
Of banishment. Is the end of the world justification for breaking that one out?
Yeah, why not?
All right, we know somebody who can make magical banishment bombs that also have the capacity to blow up temples, and we're kind of cool with them.
All three eyes are on you, Mamori. Sorry. Can you repeat that?
Oh yeah, well, here's the thing. Mamori sweats. So we might have left out some details when coming back, having, gotten the relics back that we grabbed from the people who took them from the temple. They're a clown troupe, and they're very exciting. And they're working on some stuff, and I made some friends while I was there. Sildra made some friends, which I never thought that was even possible, but here we are. And, I don't know, their leader's cool, and he's been working on some stuff to, to put some gods in their place, and, yeah, that's how they made that bomb. And also, we know where they're at, or where they're going to be. And I can see my rival again. I mean, theoretically, if we want to, pull that card.
The short of it is, we know someone who has the technology to banish gods and also hurt real people at the same time, so how lucky are we?
Yeah, Thadria, you're real smart, but it's silly of you to think that there aren't other smart people in this world who are, thinking along the same lines as you are, and that there could be no solution because you can't think of it. That's very silly of you.
Ithaco kind of snorts a laugh at that. As Ethatria is staring at you, Mamori, she says nothing. She kind of chews her lip for a minute before staring past all of you and up at the suspended relics in the air. Severius kind of leans over to her and says, "Come on, Tria. Either it works, or it doesn't. Why not just give it a try?"
I mean, alternatively, you could just stay down here and mope and wait for the end of the world.
Those bombs banished the gods of storm and harvest that day for about 3 hours. they were unable to return to the temple.
Mm-hmm.
They did, and they were fairly rightfully pissed. But they were gone.
And the guy's kind of an idiot, and he figured that out, so I'm sure we could think of something better.
Yeah, you guys could like take what he's doing and like make it super awesome and banish god powers forever, and then we just be left with a human who I can totally punch in the face. I'm super good at that.
Zephyrius smiles at that, and he smiles a little bit wider as he says, "If you can bring me those bombs, if I can find a way to essentially reverse engineer what he's doing, which, if he's as stupid as you say he is, will not be difficult for me to do. I can figure out what exactly is in those things that creates that divine dispel magic. I can infuse that with a weapon. I can take that weapon and plunge it right into that monarch's slimy, rotted, overgrown chest. And we will be done with this. Forever. Get us those bombs."
All right, well, you better start like picking up this place because this is a mess, guys. Like, really.
Mamori, we've got bigger issues. It's a plate. It's a couple of crumbs.
Personal hygiene is the biggest issue I'm seeing here today.
Just pile it up and throw it into one of the rooms you're not using.
Oh, well, I mean, not the ideal
There is
solution.
Pantry 7. I mean, we haven't gone in there in a couple of years. It'd be fine to just... And at this point, Spherius is like, no, I'm making a point. Stay out of this.
Yeah, you guys stay here and clean up. We'll find this, our carnival troupe again. No worries. They've told us exactly where to find them.
Where are they?
Well, wouldn't you guys like to know?
We...
After you were like, you guys aren't going to be of any help. What are you guys going to do to help us?
Ithaco chuckles and gets up and walks over to the three of you. She says, "Wherever you're headed, if you can pinpoint that location, it would be helpful for us to know, just so that we could properly prepare you for the journey ahead. Whatever you need, whatever you want, let us take care of you in that capacity, to make up for what we've failed to do up to this point."
Well, I'd love to tell them where we're going, but I forgot. And I can't find the map.
It's very south. Bobino pointed at the map, and I wasn't really paying attention because I was glad to be out of there. It's south.
For the record, Bobino pointed you in the direction of the Draga Highlands and the southern
Very
Yes,
south.
yes.
Yes, the
I
very
wrote very
southern
south.
reaches. Yep, of
Okay.
the continent.
I just have like a question, because Mateo's been like out and about.
Mm-hmm.
Has Mateo ever seen the Lost Wastes in person?
You've ridden past them. No one goes through the wastes because they are a wasteland.
Okay, so it looks like a wasteland.
It very much looks like a wasteland.
Okay.
It is hard to miss, and when you
I-
have journeyed with your mother on some of her business trips, you have at one or two points ridden past and seen the very outskirts of this scorched, dry, sandstorm-looking land.
Okay, I was beginning to think that there was like some revisionist history going on here.
Nope.
Like it's still there. We just didn't put a different name on the map and put that map everywhere. And everyone's like, "Well, Augusta, quick, go there."
No. Well, if you're going south and you're passing the wastes anyways, I have a request.
Mm-hmm.
He pulls out from inside one of his robes a very, very, very old iron key with the pinecone sigil emblazoned on it. This will open the capital gates I'm not asking you to do that yet. I'm asking you to make sure that they're still there. If the gates are there, our way in is there. It's a side stop for you. Focus on getting in touch with your pyrotechnic friend, or whatever. Get there, get back in a timely manner so that we can create this counter weapon, so that we can go into the city and take care of business. But like I said, gotta make sure our way in is still intact.
Momori grabs the key out of his hand. Sure, we got it. Any other requests? Do you need us to take your mail, or...
Did you keep up with the forge orders? I know Kalia was pretty busy the last couple of days. Can't have my reputation slipping in town, you know.
Yeah, well, whatever I didn't finish. It's your problem now.
God, you're more trouble than you're worth, kid.
Momori just grins at him.
I think we've said more than enough for tonight. Tonight? Today. What day is it? This is the morning. This is like first thing in the morning. Jesus.
Oh, yeah, it is.
They're underground. They don't know what time it is.
It's true.
They're living that mole life. They've probably been up
It's
all
been
night.
how many days?
Ithaca goes to get up, get you guys ushered out of their very just gross den at this point. The, wonder of the space has worn off. This place is just a pigsty. As she starts leading the whole group of you guys out of this room, Athatria is noticeably hanging back, still seeming like she's collecting herself after everything. Ithaca leads the group of you back out towards the foyer, and she and Zeph cringe as they see the mess out there. Admittedly, this challenge we put forth was maybe... character building is a wonderful thing.
So is a good spring cleaning.
Yes. Yeah. Spring cleaning. Oh, Tria's gonna be really mad with us, Zeph. I'll make her another staff, it's fine. She won't know the difference.
Momori nudges Sildra. Hey, Sildra?
Yeah.
When were we gonna tell them about, the thing?
Which one?
Well, the one that we let out of the wardrobe, obviously. The important thing. That thing.
The way I see it, they've had their secrets.
Sildra?
A little bit longer until we show them the ours.
Isn't this whole scenario, example A of, why we shouldn't have... Momori pauses.
What are you guys whispering about?
Nothing.
If you want to tell them, I'm not going to stop you. But I'm not in the headspace to deal with that. Do what you want.
Momori is conflicted. Yeah, they gotta know. Okay, the moment's over. Yeah, no. Momori's not gonna tell him yet. Momori loses this opportunity.
Interesting. I was kind of hoping that Momori would, because Sildra's just petty right now.
Well, Momori was riding on this high of you shouldn't keep secrets, and then remembers
We also have secrets.
Yep.
I mean,
Maury has a big time
we-
secret.
we did say that we found a cabinet that we had questions about, and they didn't ask any questions about why we knew about it, so it's kind of on them if you think about it. Kind of their fault if you really think about it.
Maury is just preoccupied with other things. Yeah, Maury just turns and walks away, or like waves to Zeph and to Mateo and Silder, and she's like, "I'm going to start packing."
Get yourself ready. If I could make a request, I know. If I can make the request, keep us on the down low for now. We'll figure out how to tell the town by the time you get back. You won't have to worry about it. If anyone asks where you're going, just say we're sending you on another errand. We'll take care of the logistics from there.
Okay. Well, don't dawdle about it.
When would we ever?
Does that include keeping it from Avis? I mean, he's technically not part of the town. And you know that boy's gonna have questions.
Yeah, book boy. Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Send book boy back here.
Oh, I'm sure he'll
We're not
just
gonna hit him. We're not.
jump at the chance to see you guys again, Zeph.
Listen. Promise, I'm not gonna hit him upside the head. Probably won't hit him upside the head.
I'll tell him to come here. I'm not even gonna put that idea in his brain.
Look, you were right about Tria. She is smart. She's not the only smart person out there. And I think she needs someone to, bounce ideas off of that isn't us. She hears us after a certain point, it's background noise. Get her book boy, get her someone to fetch her tea and more scrolls. We'll have, hopefully, some more specific plan of attack by the time you guys are back.
That sounds good to me. Darn, I was hoping we could take Avis on our journey.
You don't get my boy.
It's fine. Let the teachers become attached to this man as much as I am.
Is that possible?
Probably not. Grace is leaving it open.
Out of curiosity, where is Ithaca in all this?
Ithaca's kind of leading up the rear of this pack. She's fairly quiet right now. Just kind of letting you guys and Zephyrius banter back and forth. She's watching you from a decent distance behind, but not approaching you, Sildra. After that initial boundary you set up, she has been very, very careful not to overstep.
Sildra, why can't you just talk? Why are you so bad at talking? You're killing me. You're killing me, buddy. They're gonna just ignore her. God. It hurts me sometimes.
You're playing your character right. You're playing.
But do I want to?
Right. Yes, you do. Because it's going to lead to some inevitable plot-like consequences that none of us expected, and all of us are hurt by.
I'm sure this will be fine.
Which is going to be great for the storytelling.
Grace, we can trust you, right?
I have an idea that I'm not going to do right now.
Grace, you'll be nice to us, right?
I have such a good idea because Sildred's not talking
You love us,
in this
Grace.
moment. I do love you.
Yay! Drama!
You all are back in the main foyer. The 5 of you, Athatria, still not joined from her place in the living room. You've been gathered in the main space for some time now, just kind of chatting back and forth. Zephyrius claps a hand on your shoulder, Memori, and he looks at the 3 of you. He says, like I said, no more secrets. You are a part of this. And we're trusting you.
Screams.
Memori nods.
No more secrets. No secrets.
You good there, Kev?
I'm gonna smack this child of mine.
Mateo's just like spacing out and like fiddling with something in his hand.
Mateo, what is that?
Huh? Like looks down at his hand like he didn't even like realize that he was holding this thing. And you see that it is a little carved wooden dog.
Aw.
So you saw the thing that Rami made him most recently. This is much cruder than that. But still good. Mateo looks down at it. It's just a thing, I guess. Whatever. And he puts it in his bag. Then he doesn't know what to do with his hands anymore.
I always see you like messing around with it, so it was just, I don't know, curious.
Nothing.
Precious things deserve to be kept safe. Deserve to be kept close, too. Ithaca finally makes her way closer towards all of you. Prepare what you need to. We'll prepare on our end. But beyond trust, our job now is to keep those precious things safe. Go get ready. We'll be waiting for you. Story Hoard is produced by Grace, Maddie, Margaret, and Kev. Our theme song was written and composed by Vocal Outburst. Follow for updates and artwork on Twitter and Tumblr at StoryHoardPod, or visit our website at storyhoard.card.co. You can find all these links and more in the description of this episode.
But
I remember when I was a kid, I used to scare my mom because I would laugh in my sleep.
that's horrifying, Kevin. You're lucky your mother did not return you for that, because I
Well-
might consider returning my child for that.
I just find that gift receipt.
Little demon
Yeah.
child.
Can I have a
Just-
non-laughing
Just put
version?
back where it came from, you know.
This one's
Yeah, the
defective.
The stork
Just stick it
brought
back
you
under the
here,
tree.
and the stork will take you back. My child laughs in their sleep. By God, that's
It
so
was
what
the
happened to
Ouija
Boss
board.
Baby?
No. Don't
Excuse
tie
me?
Boss Baby into this.
I forget the lore of Boss Baby.
Wait,
Or no, there was
Boss
like some
Baby?
kind of there was like a baby machine and he like escaped from it.
Are you thinking of storks?
No, I'm thinking of Boss Baby.
The movie about
Because
babies?
he was like a defective baby or something. He was too
What?
serious, so he got sent to the boss section of babies.
What is this lore?
It's very faint in my mind.
Margaret, I'm pretty sure you're the only one here who has seen Boss Baby.
I saw it on a plane and they censored his naked butt cheeks.
Yeah.
What?
They just made it like a Ken doll. but for a
Babies can't have butts.
butt. No.
Wow.
That's not allowed. As we all know, babies do not develop their butts until much later in life.
Yep.
No, it's true. They don't grow in yet.
There's nothing more adorable.
It's
than
like bra.
baby
It's
butt.
like you have your training underwear, a la your training bra, to teach them how to grow in.
to
True.
teach the butt.
Mhm.
Trainer butt.
Exactly.
About what tiny
That's like a
whiteys
thing.
are?
Mm-hmm. Ew.